Hey everyone, welcome to another Things I Hate, where we ridicule games that frighten us in the night. Today, we are going to be talking about Devil May Cry 1, so let's begin. One of the first things I wanted to talk about with Devil May Cry 1 has to be the story. The story slash script, whatever you want, isn't really all that there because the game doesn't really have that much story. All in all, it's literally just Dante follows Trish to go take down Mundus before he escapes into the human world to cause his chaos, and yeah, that's about it. There's not really much there, and it kind of sucks because I wish that there was more. Like, for example, how Dante feels about his brother Virgil, because it is revealed at the end of the game that one of Mundus's soldiers is Virgil. So if there was at least some kind of hint or nods to Virgil at some point in the story, I would have enjoyed that, or I would have probably liked more time with Trish. I would have preferred if she'd actually had more story relevance as the game progressed, as opposed to, oh, she recruits you at the beginning of the game, she betrays you, then you actually care for her when she dies and say the most cheesiest line ever. No. Delivery just feels so odd that it doesn't even make me feel happy nor sad that she's gone. It just kind of makes me feel like, okay. And then you fight Mundus and that's it. If there was more done with the story, I'd probably feel a bit cooler about it. The second thing I'd like to talk about with Devil May Cry 1 has to be the underwater sections. There are 2 points in the game where you will be forced to go underwater, and it's giving me flashbacks to The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time all over again. Essentially, you're underwater, which already sucks. 2, they take away all your conventional weapons, so the only thing you have to fight with is a harpoon gun. Not great. 3, the controls are fucking inverted again. Now, these sections may not be too long, so to speak, but again, having this type of level in a more action-oriented game just sucks the life out of me, because it feels like I'm just suffering at this point. Why have you taken away my main method of fighting just for me to go, hey, how about you suffer underwater and try and maneuver your way around like a buffoon with the worst weapon in the game? And it's not like you can upgrade the harpoon gun either. You're just kind of stuck with this pea shooter for this bit. And every time I come back to this, I hope that it gets better or I just get less worse at it. But no. It's still just as horrible as I remember, and it doesn't really have an end in sight. But on the bright side, at least the games going forward did not come back to this same method. So no underwater levels for 2 through 5, which is great. The final thing I wanted to talk to you about with Devil May Cry 3 has to be the last fight in the game. Here you defeat Mundus and save the world, right? But this fight is not as fun as you think it is, or at the very most, the first phase of the fight is. The problem I have is the controls for the first phase against Mundus are insanely horrible to control. It's a similar problem to what I had with the underwater sections. Trying to control Dante is crap. And it's essentially just turned from, this is a hack and slash, to, hey, now you're just shooting the boss like some level similar to Sonic Adventure 2 or 1 or Unleashed, or just something of that nature, and it kind of just throws the old combat out the window, which really bites. Now, the second phase of the Mundus fight is cool, and I like that, but the problem is, if I run out of yellow orbs and get a game over of some kind, I have to go and suffer through the first phase all over again and lose most of my health or lives just trying to survive that just to get back to the better fight. That's not fun as a final boss. It sucks. And I would think, hey, there'd be some awesome epic fight or something cool, but no, it starts off with a huge whimper and then the cool stuff happens. Why do these boss fights just keep making this kind of thing happen with 2 phases? Why? And there you have it. Those are the things I hate from Devil May Cry 1. So, what do you guys think? Did you enjoy? If you did, Or if you think there's things I missed, leave them in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Currently, at the time of this video going up, we are live on Twitch and YouTube, so come stop by and say hi if you like. We'd love to hear you and get to meet you. So, until the next time, I've been Ace. Thanks for joining us. See you later, and happy Halloween! Woo!